I built a fairy tale arch and a starry background for our playground. We have this 100-year-old pomegranate tree that I cut some branches off that were already dead, and I'm sanding the bark off so that they're very smooth. If I could give any advice, try to find some branches that are already smooth and have already kind of become smooth over time. I'm doing my dry fit. I'm trying to fit my branches on there, just trying to get my vision. It's in my head and trying to make it come to life. It just took a little bit of time, but I just was trying to fit them, and I knew I wanted them to all kind of meet in the middle to kind of create that arch. I just went for branches with a slight curve in them, ones that were different in length, and I varied the lengths, I varied the sizes, skinny, fat, and just kind of played around with it. This arch in total took me about 30 minutes. To an hour. I did some branches in front of each other, behind each other, and that kind of adds to the charm. And then you're going to want to find yourself lots of different sizes of vines. I wound them around, and you're going to do a lot of vines, and that's going to add to the whimsical. That's about all there is to that project. Then I wanted to back in the playground. I hadn't really seen anything that I was wanting to do out there, so I decided to do something myself. We built our own playground, by the way, which you can watch that video here, but we had some plywood left over, so I'm cutting that plywood, I'm trimming that down to the size I'm needing, and I'm using a jigsaw, which I now, with more experience, would use a circular saw or a table saw. Then I got my drill, and I used a spade drill bit, and I'm tracing out my stars, and with my spade drill bit, I drilled different holes. I drilled a 1 inch and a 1/2 inch hole, and I just kind of varied the placing and the sizing. Then I'm using my jigsaw, and I'm kind of having a hard time with this blade. It kind of took me a little bit to get the hang of it, but I tried drawing my own stars, and they were very just wonky, so I used a cookie cutter and traced them out. They ended up being kind of wonky anyways. There's that one, and then there's this one. This one looks even worse. It just kept getting bigger and bigger. It looks kind of scary, and I was gonna give up on this piece of wood, but I decided to stick with it and just see how it turns out, and if anything, I'd get practice. But I actually ended up liking it, and my advice is that, at least for me, more imperfect the better. I really think that adds to like the charm and just like the whimsical feel, which is what I was going for. Then I grabbed my 80 grit sandpaper and I sanded down all the stars. I made sure to get in all the crevices because this is going on a playground. We don't want any splinters. So I spent a lot of time sanding. And fun fact, this starry background I did in just a few hours in one day. So it really wasn't anything crazy. I just was kind of trying to make things up as I went, but I'm doing that for you, so you have more of a game plan than I did. We put this on the playground, and we definitely got a feel for it. I love how it's looking, and I love the sun that's coming through on the playground as well, through the stars, and Cove definitely improved. Then I decided this is looking pretty good, so I finished putting the rest of my plywood on there and put that top piece on, which was a little bit tricky. You can see some paw prints on there from our dog. And then I drilled the rest of my holes and used my jigsaw to finish those stars off. Then I stained it just the same color as the playground. I thought about doing like a chalkboard background or something, but I thought to keep the cohesive look, I just went ahead and stained it, which is the color chocolate in Bear from Home Depot. And this is kind of the finished look. We've had a couple phases of how this has looked, and this was right after I finished staining it, and it's just kind of gotten better and better. These are some cute pictures that I took right away because I was so excited. Here's kind of how it's looked as I put some leaves in the arch and everything, and then this is what it looks with our privacy fence now. I built this toadstool table, which you can watch a video on also, but this has honestly made our playground so magical, and I love it so much. Thanks for watching.